All right. Agents, can you hear me? Testing, 1, 2, 3. Okay, agents, I hope everybody can hear me now. All right, great. Thank you, Abidan. All right, good morning. So today we are going to be going over the characteristics of top producing realtors. And so I know we have a lot of top producing agents on the line today, but some of you are just either starting out or you're looking to grow your business. So we'll have a lot of good tips for you guys as well. Before I go too further, I'd like to invite Bill Seitz, our CEO of Clearview Mortgage, to join us. Good morning, Bill.
Hey, good morning, Kevin.
All right. Sorry, I had a little bit of a headset issue this morning, but we're back and we're
I was like, I couldn't figure it out if it was me or what was going on, and I was unmuted myself. I'm like, wait, is this? So it's all good.
Okay, we're back. We're on track.
Part of the digital world we live in.
Totally. All right. So again, this is going to be a really good, I think, a good mindset webinar for everyone. We do have a lot of top producing agents on this call, but those of you that are looking to grow your business, it'll be great to hear what other agents do. What do the top producing agents do, right? So this will be a really good webinar to get our mindset kind of in the correct spot, so we really are thinking like top producing agents, right?
I think it's an incredible topic, Kevin. I think it's very important that if you want to, achieve a certain income level, you want to become a certain volume agent, you want to emulate some of these top producers and do what they do and adopt and take on their characteristics. This is a very good webinar to analyze those things and, try to put those aspects or what they're doing into your own personal business.
Because I don't believe in reinventing the wheel. So I really like to see what other people have done and how other people are successful. That makes it easier for me to model what they're doing. So just analyzing what other people are doing correctly is a really, really good exercise for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I've been around a lot of top producing agents over the last 20 years. Not everybody does it the same way, which is cool. I mean, it doesn't have to be done all the same way, but
in fact, everybody does it different, right?
For the most part, I mean,
yeah.
Everyone's got their own style, their own way they generate business, or how they follow through and how they organize their day or whatever. But it is super important, if you take the business seriously, to be open-minded to what these agents are doing and to see where you can improve or what you're lacking.
Exactly. So before we get too much further in, I want to also invite Travis Breton on the line. Travis, good morning. How are you today?
Good morning. How's it going?
Real good. And also I want to welcome Damian Young, new agent, new prospect that's looking to join ARG. So glad to have you aboard. Also welcome all of our regulars and some of our new agents. Maria Magellanis, glad to see you on here. Renee, Rhonda, Susan, all of our kind of our regulars that are always with us. Glad to see all of you guys. So what I want to do is, the first thing I want to do is just kind of go over a couple of, not even, I guess they are characteristics of top producing agents. So most of the top producing agents, they are kind. They are willing to help. They are willing to share. They have a philanthropic sort of an approach to life. They are committed to kindness. They want to help with their clients. They actually do care about their clients and want their clients to get the best possible service. They also are involved with their community. We talk about this all the time. You got to be involved in your community. You got to give back. You have to be, and it's two reasons. First of all, you genuinely should want to do that, and second, you are going to get a lot of referral and business that way, because people do trust you. You're in the community. You're doing things for the community. So that goes a long way. So that's a two-pronged kind of a deal. But it really should come from the want and the need for you to help your community. So if it starts there, then it is genuine, and you will get those referrals just because you are genuine. Another thing that most top producing agents, and this is like the top 1% producers, they almost always have a coach or a mentor. They have someone like an accountability partner that will help them stay accountable. And they engage in mastermind meetings, and they have a willingness to always want to grow their business. So those are some of the kind of the overarching characteristics of a top producing realtor. This is a really cool little stat right here. Oh, not a stat, but it's just kind of a good idea. So becoming a top producer comes down to proactively prospecting about 7 hours a week, constantly learning, being emotionally resilient, and moving from great to memorable client experiences. So a company called RedX, who provides leads for realtors, they've been around for a long time. They have been analyzing some of this data for 10 years. And so they've surveyed their users, and they found that the difference between those that make 250,000 versus those that make 70,000 is not very much. So this is what they kind of figured out. $250,000 a year earners, 100% of those surveys had a written goal and a written business plan. Imagine that. And the producers prospected on average 4.6 days per week, at least 90 minutes a day. So about 7 hours a week on average. And 81% that were surveyed use a script. They always use a script when they're prospecting. So that's those are really cool and interesting stats. So the 70,000 per year earners, only 82% had written goals, and 66% had a written business plan. And they only prospected 3.5 days a week for an average of 60 minutes a day. So the difference between, and this is, obviously kind of a very gross generalization, but the difference between earning 70,000 per year and 250,000 a year is only prospecting 3.5 hours per week more. So that should be a big giant, light bulb that goes off in everybody's head. You just have to do a little bit more prospecting, right? So consequently, the first 2 steps in becoming a top producer are to create a written business plan and prospect 5 days a week for 90 minutes a day. So if you just start with that, you're already going towards where top producers live. That's where they are. So that's a really, really cool stat, and a really good thing to get into your mindset. So so what do? You create a simple business plan. Also remember that we have our blueprint for success, our ARG blueprint for success. So this is a great starting point, okay? And everybody has access to this. If you don't, you can email me and I'll send you one. So the business goals, the blueprint for success goes through all of those different things with creating a business plan and a marketing plan. So I want you guys, I'm not going to go through this because I've already done many business plan webinars, and you guys can access those in the archives. But this is a really good spot to start. So if you don't have a business plan, that's a really important place to start. So let me get back to my graphic over here. So this little graphic here is kind of a sample, a little business plan that you can use if you don't have one. And it's just another way to kind of look at a little business plan, right? You have your personal goals, you have your business goals, and you've got your weekly goals and your daily goals, right? And I do like that this breaks it into personal priorities and business priorities, because, we all, we're all humans. We all have to do other things in our daily lives besides business. So schedule it in, don't pretend like it doesn't exist. So here's how it works. So how's the beginning of this? Setting goals. Write down big annual personal goals, your big why for being in the business. What drives you to do what you do? Write down your annual income goal, and then double it. So if you want to make $100,000 this year, write down 200,000. Why? Because when you shoot for a higher goal, you're more likely to hit the original goal, right? Plus, if you're shooting for higher, hopefully you're going to get way higher than, your original goal anyway. So, and that's the mindset of a top producing agent. They shoot for the stars, right? So another thing is you got to know your numbers. So part of any business plan or any business is you have to know your numbers. So top producers know the average sales price, they know their average cost per transaction, they know the expenses they incur per transaction, so they know their ROI, right? They know their return on investment. So, and they know where their leads originated. They know how many leads it takes to generate a closed transaction on average. Because if you start tracking this stuff now, you'll have good data over the next year or the next couple of months. You'll know how many phone calls does it take, how many leads coming in, how many contacts do you have to make to a referral. You'll know all those things if you start keeping track of the numbers now. So an important part of this whole thing is to not just make a business plan, a yearly business plan, a quarterly business plan, or a monthly business plan, but also a daily business plan. And it doesn't take long. So a daily business plan can look like this. Schedule 3 personal activities that you'll engage in today that support your health, well-being, connection to your family, friends, and loved ones. So again, we're not just robots. We have to schedule these other things that are part of our lives, right? And so treat those personal appointments the same way you're going to treat a listing appointment. You only cancel a personal appointment if you would cancel a listing appointment under the same circumstances. So, for example, if a client wants an appointment during your personal time, respond by saying, hey, I'm so sorry, I have a conflicting appointment. Would 4 p.m. today or 10 a.m. tomorrow be better for you? So you're controlling your day. I think a lot of times we get so excited when a prospect wants to talk to us or something like that, or wants to meet with us. We'll maybe drop everything, and that doesn't really work for ourselves as human beings. So you have to control your day. Chaos does not rule your day. You control your day. You block out time to do things, and when you do that, you're also going to get respected by your clients as well. Okay, you're not a pushover. You're a business person. So, stay with that mindset. Okay, so the next thing you need to do is record the 3 most important actions that you can take today to hit your business goals. So this means scheduling proactive prospecting, some kind of activities, 5 days a week, at least 90 minutes a day. And so what is that? That is, you're calling on past clients. You're calling people in your sphere of influence. You are interacting with your CRM. You are keeping track of when you talk to each of these prospects and people in your sphere of influence. You are in contact with your business networking group, So all of these different things, those are quote unquote prospecting activities, obviously following up with leads and following up with referrals and so forth. So, and it should not be from the hip. This should all come from your CRM. You should be very, very detailed on exactly who needs to be called and when. And it all can be kept track of in your CRM. So those are really, really important ways to make a daily business plan, right? Every day you have to schedule your day so you are utilizing your time, which is your most important resource. You're using your time effectively. So, here's another one. If you have a new listing, call 50 people who live nearby and invite them to attend a virtual open house. The goal is to engage in prospecting activities where you have a live conversation. So whether it's in person or Zoom, you want to be engaging with these people. Right now in COVID world, it's still, maybe you're inviting them on a Zoom call. Maybe you're inviting them to a virtual open house, right? So this is a really cool deal. I found this very, very insightful. Eat That Frog. So there's a guy named Brian Tracy, and he wrote a book called Eat That Frog. And so the frog is the biggest, ugliest task of the day. So he says in his book, always tackle the frog first, whether it's business or personal. If it's something that's, the worst thing that you have to do, if you can, do it for the first thing in the morning. Just get it done. Because then everything else is going to be gravy. Everything else is easy after you eat the frog. So I really like that. And then it's imperative, I think, and what I do is to schedule your next day's activities. They say before you go to bed or first thing in the morning. I schedule my next day's activities when I'm wrapping up my day. So at the end of the day, I'm making sure that I know what's going on for tomorrow. So I'm not confused when I wake up. I know exactly what I have to do, right? So this is kind of cool too. So focus on your strength. Top producers focus on 2 or 3 core lead generation activities that work for them and usually are highly niched into specific market segments. In other words, they focus on their strengths, not their weaknesses. No one ever got to the top by focusing on their weaknesses. Obvious, right? And then also apply the 80-20 rule. This is huge. 80% of your income results from the top 20% of your activities. Okay? So to increase your income and create more time in your schedule, drop the bottom 20% of your activities that generate less than 1% of your income. And I see this all the time. It's easy to be busy. Being busy is, that's not the goal. That's not bringing you towards your goal. But focusing on the actual things that bring you money or that will advance your business goals, those are the things that you want to be focusing on. You could be busy. I see agents that are busy, but they're not accomplishing things that get towards their goal as effectively as they could. So keep that in mind. And devote at least 80% or more of your time to the top 3 sources that generate the most leads for your business. So, that's that's not an easy thing to do. And that takes time, and that takes you monitoring what you do. And so that's the kind of thing that's like a long-term goal. That's easier said than done. I'll be honest with that. So what are the top characteristics of a successful realtor? Well, according to 2 large studies conducted by the Texas Realtors Association, the most important predictors of agents who succeed in real estate are they have a continuous learning mindset and are constantly in search of ways to improve themselves and their businesses. That's kind of what we talked about at the beginning. And they have adequate financial reserves. Ooh. So they don't spend all their money. They sandbag for the hard times because they know that the real estate cycles ebb and flow. You might get 2 deals this month and you might not get a deal for 4 or 5 months. So, top producing agents have adequate financial reserves. They are emotionally resilient and optimistic, and they can handle conflict well. I think everybody would agree that a top producing agent, we know this business, there's conflicts all the time. There's issues that arise. That's why we get paid, is to deal with these issues and to deal with conflict. So people that are optimistic and handle conflict well, they do way better in this business. It's like being a boxer, take punches, you get knocked down, but you have to get back up. So the top producing agents always get back up. They're persistent, When a potential client does not work well with them, the top producers actively prospect for other clients to take their place. So you don't have to take every deal, right? If you notice that a person's shady or they're lying to you and stuff like that, you don't have to take their deal, right? So don't be afraid to say no to a deal if it smells bad, right? Also, top producing agents, they think outside the box. That's a little cliche, but they have that learning mindset. They often are early adopters. They experiment with new technologies. They try new stuff, and they build their business. And one thing that they do consistently is they treat their business like a business. So That's I know also a little cliche, but some agents, they just kind of fly by the seat of their pants. They don't know their numbers. They don't have a plan. And so those kind of agents, they can get lucky and get some deals, but they're never going to be that consistent top producing agent, right? And then one of the things that I think is so key in getting referrals and getting, people to talk about your services is to create those memorable client experiences, right? So, and it's basically going, and I've done a complete webinar on this, going and taking your service to 7 stars. Forget 5 stars. You want to go way above and beyond into the stratosphere. And I know agents that don't spend a dime on leads. All they do is they put a large amount of their, or a good percentage of their commission into gifts and things for the client and ways to make the client experience much better. And so that is what I'm talking about with taking, creating memorable experiences where the client goes, wow, my realtor did that? Are you kidding me? And I've got a giant list of ways that you can do that. In fact, like I said, I have an entire webinar that you guys can find in the archive and, figure out ways to make that client just blown away, right? Here's an easy one though. So honor your client's time and make sure that their time is just as valuable as yours. So one thing that you can say is, I want to be sensitive of your time. Make sure that you get what you need from our meeting. What are the most important things you want to cover during our meeting? And by what time do we need to wrap it up? You're literally, that's taking your service a notch up for sure. You are concerned about your client's time. How often does that happen? Not very often. So that approach stops people in their tracks sometimes, because a lot of times people, especially salespeople, they don't discuss how valuable their client's time is, right? So that's a really good one. Become human, be human, reach out to your clients on home buying anniversary dates, congratulate them, send them a little gift, send them a little, a succulent plant or something, drop it off in person, right? Ask them how they've been. What have they been up to? Have you done anything cool to the house? How are the kids? So many agents don't take that time. And this is the kind of thing, in that 90 minutes a day, those are the things that you should be doing. So, always be following up with people that you, even maybe a person that you got close to on a deal and then they ended up not doing the deal. Stay in contact with those people, So it's a really, really important to just be human, stay in contact with those people, be genuine, right? And show that you care about personal interests. So an agent recently went on a listing appointment for a $3.5 million home. The owners were moving up to Central California. And when he heard how excited they were about the move and going to this new area, he searched online, found a book about the history of the area, and sent him the book. $22, nothing. But those are the tiny things that separate you from the other agent that just sold the property and, collected the commission and, went to Tahiti and never thought about it again, right? So you have to be that top producing agent that has that top producing mindset that actually does want to provide value and provide all of those things that that a client would like, and even taking it to the next level. So I'm going to make this, I'm going to make sure that when I send out the replay, this entire script here is in there. So if anybody has any questions about mindset, schedule an appointment with me and we can go through this one-on-one. Bill, any takeaways from today's webinar?
Man, there's a lot in there.
Yeah.
This could be a 4-week course and getting deeper into a lot of different topics.
For sure.
A couple of things. One, I did like that you mentioned you don't always have to take the deal. There's things that come my way that I don't take the deal. for certain reasons. And one, if I know that the time allocated and the energy allocated is not going to become a return, or the rest of my business is going to suffer because of it, I will politely, pass on the deal.
Yeah.
And, or say, hey, this might be a good route for you to go. I won't be rude. I won't, I'll provide a nice, easy way to kind of, give my advice to the person. And then I'll just say, hey, I think that you might be a better bet going here for these reasons. And then I'll, way to be professional and turn down the deal. I think a lot of us chase the deal. I think you mentioned this at all costs, but we really don't truly know what the cost, if you have an idea of what the cost is going to be, that can be you could be kicking yourself by the time you try to get this thing buttoned up. For sure. And the rest of your business can suffer from it. So that's one thing. There's so many things. Travis, you've been around a lot of top producing agents. What do you, reflect on as far as this?
This is such a huge topic, actually. What's the magic thing that's going to make me a top producer? It's different for a lot of agents, but I think the number one thing is to step up and own your role as a realtor. And that's what I see a lot of people fail at, is they're a secret agent out there. No one knows that they're a realtor. They don't promote it. They don't tell their friends. They don't tell their family. It's like they live in shame almost, and that's not going to build your business. So I had two examples of that. One is we hired an agent 2 years ago, and for the first 6 months, he did nothing. He was basically a new licensee. He wasn't reaching out anything, and finally he said, hey, I want to start doing some more business. What should I do? I said, well, how's your network? And he told me that he worked at Qualcomm, and I'm like, well, do your coworkers know, and this and that. So we talked about the network, and it was like night and day. The next year, the guy sold 32 homes and made $500,000 in commissions.
Jeez.
And he has done not a lick of marketing. It's all been him telling people that he's a realtor, so he's working a full-time job at Qualcomm as an engineer and also sold over 30 homes. And he's on track to do the same thing this year. It's crazy.
Incredible.
And then we have a new licensee. He got licensed 3 months ago. Same thing. We actually got him as a referral from that same agent. And he also works at Qualcomm. And he was asking the same thing. What do I do? I said, work your sphere. And so the second month after being licensed, he sold his first deal was a $1.2 million listing that he got from someone he knew at work. Mm-hmm. And then they bought a brand new home that was 1.8, and now he's got 2 listings and 2 sales going, and we're in month 3 of his being licensed. So really, it's not so much about throwing a bunch of money at something or different things work for different people. For them, they're very personable, and they stepped up and owned their role as a realtor, though, and everybody knows, and they're getting a ton of referrals now. So I think that's probably the best thing anybody could do for anybody's business is own your role, Yeah.
I think that's a good point, Travis. And I think whether it's Qualcomm or the local school down the street that you're involved with, and you're sponsoring stuff, you're letting everyone know you're in real estate, you're helping out with maybe different activities at the school, or it could be coaching a local team. It doesn't, you can broadcast your role in so many different ways.
Yeah, it's not, slapping them on the head every time you see them. Hey, I'm a realtor. Hey, I'm a realtor. But,
No.
If people know that you're a realtor and, they're going to refer you, especially if, you're a trusted person. These days, all my business is from referral.
Yeah.
I actually don't do any marketing anymore either, as far as, Facebook leads and stuff like that. All my friends and family use me. They trust me. They know the transaction is going to go well. And that's where I get all my business these days.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And I think everybody knows that I talk about that ad nauseum. Work your sphere of influence. That's where the deals are going to come from. That's where you're going to grow your business the quickest. So yeah, if you guys
Yeah,
have
and you're going to be working
questions
with people
about
you
that,
like, you know?
yeah, exactly. So
I think too, like, just to touch on that a little further, because Travis, I'm kind of in that same place now, just being involved in real estate for 20 years now, getting my license, um, and having the network, and still living in the same community that I've lived in for most of my life. Um, you know, you do have to grind, I think, at the beginning
Yeah,
for a lot of us. There's a grind element where we have to. I don't want to make that word. It's kind of an ugly word, but you gotta build your book of business, and building your book turns into a referral based business. So it's
yeah,
just like the young dentist that graduates from USC School of Dentistry, and he's got to start his practice from scratch, and he's got loans and stuff, and he's grinding and he's building his business, but by the time he's several years in, now the referrals are coming. Now he's got constant patients. He's got, more business than he knows what to do with. And it really is the same way in this business. You stay in the business long enough and you do a good job, the referral-based business will come naturally.
yeah,
it definitely will. And, that dentist definitely owned his role, I'm sure, as a dentist, and everybody knew that he was a dentist. And it's no different as a realtor, So this is your business and you have to own it.
yeah,
So, I have numerous stories of how agents broke out, some of them wasn't referrals. I had one 2 years ago. She's a good agent. She's been in the business a long time, but she just, you know, she could be doing a lot better than she did. And it all boiled down to accountability,
yeah,
which is what I kept telling her. And so she actually started getting coaching, and she
yeah.
got coaching for a year and a half with Tom Ferry. And it's not a plug for Tom Ferry. I'm just telling you who she used. And her goal for the first year was to make 100,000 in commissions, and she made 98, which was double what she had made previous years. So this year she's on track to do about 150. So and she's crazy busy, and she's not doing a lot of marketing. It's just coming to her now.
Love
So
that.
and she's been in the business almost as long as I have, 15, 16 years. And this, last year was her breakout year, and she owned it. She's like, I I'm gonna get, the accountability that I need, and that's literally all she needed, that one little tweak,
Yeah.
and broke out. That was her breakout year.
Oh, so exciting.
Yeah,
It's like going to boot camp.
yeah,
Yeah.
totally. That's what
Just-
worked for her. There's no magic pill for everyone. Everybody just, there is a magic pill for everyone, but it's not the same. For
Yeah.
everyone.
That's a very good point, because we all have different attributes. Some might be very personable with just naturally they can connect with people. Some people might be really organized. Some people might be really creative with marketing. Some people may be great negotiators, and some of those skill sets you got to learn, you got to acquire, because they are your weak points, or they are your, and I certainly, know where mine are, and I'm always open to learning and open to improving my processes, and we have to always be open to it. We can't get complacent and think that even when we get to a certain level of success or a certain level of achievement, that we just turn it off, say, I'm good. I think that
Yeah.
you're always evolving and have to be open-minded to improving yourself.
Yeah. I like the quote, get out of your comfort zone and stay there.
Yeah.
Great quote.
So great quote. I think that was from the CEO of GoDaddy. I think that's where I heard that one first. But
Yeah. I've heard a
really
similar one that I use, which is everything you ever wanted is right outside your comfort zone.
perfect. So hopefully you guys got a lot of good little tidbits today of just, mindset things that really do make the difference. So again, we've run out of time, but anybody that needs to schedule one-on-one time with me, don't hesitate to do it. And we'll get together next week. I think, Bill, we've got a guest next week. Is that correct, perhaps?
Yeah, I'm going to try to schedule Candace Nelson with AAG. I'm not sure if, well, many of you have probably seen the commercials with the American Advisors Group. Tom Selleck is one of their spokespersons. So
Oh, that's right.
if you're like me and grew up on Magnum PI, you know who that is. I used to love that show.
Oh, yeah.
But anyways, you know, if a lot of you don't know or aware, we are partnered with AAG for reverse mortgages. And I'm actually working on a couple of them now. And, you know, Candace was saying, hey, you know, you should learn the reverse purchase product. And I was like, yeah, you know, I'd heard about them, but I've never done one personally.
Yeah.
Only the traditional reverse. And she was really kind of sparking my interest on, I don't think a lot of us are aware of what a reverse purchase is. And it's really interesting. And I think it's really valuable for a lot of us to understand how it works and how it can be a part of your business. And it can kind of separate yourself from somebody who maybe has a large down payment, not a lot of income, and how they can get into a property fairly easy, almost easier than traditional financing. So we're going to explore that next week with Candace. And I think it'll be a good, worthwhile, you know, part of the webinar to go through that with her.
Excellent. Well, great. Looking forward to that for sure. It's just another, you know, way that we can be of service to our clients. We're providing value. We're knowledgeable. So I'm looking forward to that. Perfect. Well, agents, get out there, make it a productive week, and we will see you guys next week on the webinar. Bye-bye.